want to see that thrust bar occur at resistance if we're on the way up. You want to see a thrust bar occur at support if price is moving down. And then we must ask ourselves, who is in on this thrust bar? When we go down to our MFI and we see red, and that means very little participation. So no really strong buying or strong selling initiated this thrust bar. So when price went up on this bar, the next bar price went up due to its own weight, because there's no push and no pull. So due to its own weight, price hit resistance and bounced and closed down. And what this tells us right now is that the market, the natural flow of the market, means the market wants to fall. Okay, so now we have to ask ourselves, on this downfall, where could we expect intervention? And to do that, we need to look and see where are the operators and where is the public herd. Now, when we look back, we see that the last bar on which the operators participated was this bar here, this strong bar. This weak bar here was the last operator participation. And so price is moving up to a support level, and then all of a sudden you see operator come in. That means they're selling most of the time. That means that they're selling. Okay, so operators were selling right here, and they were selling at this resistance level. I'm sorry, did I say they were selling at support? They're selling at resistance here. Okay, and when we say, well, which support or resistance level is the market going to honor? Well, we can't predict which one it's going to honor. You see how this high and this high, the prices are relatively close together, and they're both resistance to price on the way up. And how do we know which one to honor? Well, this one, because this is where the turn came. This is where the thrust came at this resistance level here. So this is the resistance level that the market is honoring. And so this is the one we need to be looking at here. So they were selling here. Now price continued up, okay, and that's because the public saw price moving up and they jumped in on this bar. Our main clue that a reversal is going to be in order is when that public bar, if it does not break and close above support, because once it closes above, if it does not break and close above this resistance here, okay, because if it breaks and closes above this resistance here, then the next resistance is up here, and that's a pretty nice move. And we see that the public were stopped right here at resistance. If the public had broken out through resistance, then we would trade with the public, because the herd is going to come in full force on the breakout of resistance. But instead we have them here on this bar. And what do we know about public bars? Okay, the operators are going to try and stop them out if they can, and most times they're going to be successful. So if they're out on this bar, they've been selling, okay, once it gets up here, they're going to continue to sell. And so even though this thrust bar is on low volume, when we throw in our other factors such as who's buying and who's selling, we can see that this bar is actually a weak bar, meaning as far as the strength is downward, and that's a weak bar. And to note, so where did we fall to from resistance? Why, of course, down to the range of last support, which is going to be the range of this low, or these two lows here, because they're so close together. So target met. But an interesting side note is that price is moving down here. As price is moving down, we don't see operators coming in. But now once we hit the bottom and we found some support, this bar here is where operators came in. And although this bar closed down, this was a strong bar because this bar closed down on weak volume. So that tells us that this is a strong bar and the operators have entered here near the bottom at strength. And that would tell us that price is going to most likely continue up to where last resistance, which is here, which we did. Okay, you get the idea about bearish thrust bars and volume, how we want volume to support that bearish thrust bar, and how to look at our MFI and when we're looking at our thrust bar. And next we're going to talk about the volume support on the bullish support bar, because it's a little bit different on bullish support bars, and we'll talk about that next.